He's a cop in a class by himself. He is fearless, unstoppable, unbeatable.
I forgot to introduce myself. My name is John Kimble, and I love my car.
Yo, man, I'm just gonna keep an eye on it for you, all right? You see what I'm saying?
Now, he's going undercover to face his toughest adversary.
Listen, Kimble, you gotta handle this like any other police situation.
They speak their own language.
You walk into it showing fear, you're dead.
They play by their own rules.
No fear.
No fear.
And they are totally ruthless.
No fear. No fear.
Up in the morning and out to school. The teacher is teaching the golden rule.
Kindergarten cop.
American history and practical man.
He's a cop in a class by himself.
Shut up! What's the matter?
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
The new comedy from Ivan Reitman. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kindergarten Cop.
They're horrible.
And hopefully that song didn't just get me completely pulled down. That would be terrible. So yeah, as you can see, I'm by myself today. So I'm just going to bring in my guests immediately because I hate doing this stuff by myself. So the first one, I've been trying to get her on for an Arnold movie forever. You might remember her from being on this channel last time where she was completely embarrassed, but yet somehow beat Critical Drinker in a trivia contest. I still don't know how she pulled that off. But that is Sin from Sin's Corner.
It was all in the math. That's what it was. Thanks for having me.
Well, not a problem. I'm not even sure if people are watching yet. So I think you could hear us over the trailer because I just realized I had it unlisted.
Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, I was trying to find your video so I could share it.
Yeah, well now it's live, so we're good.
I'm gonna go ahead and share it while we're talking.
Yeah, sorry, technical difficulties. First time using this software. As for the second member of the panel today, usually he's with his partner, but today I don't know if he's the hard or the cut of Hard Cut, but that's my buddy Matt. How you doing?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Are you hard or cut? Which one?
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna let the audience decide that one. So, but it's good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, no problem. And actually, there's a bit of an announcement with this one. Very soon, we haven't exactly picked the day yet, but Dark Hour and Hard Cut are going to be merging forces. We decided on a different name that's not going to be Hard Hour or Dark Cut, but we'll be going with that pretty soon. Oh, good. Some people are rolling in, and this is the first time I've done one of these in a while.
Hey, Brawler,
and,
how you doing?
Brawler's here. Yeah, we might get
Brawler.
I'm not sure how many people are actually going to show up for this. It's fine. This is a great tester movie for this too. Which leads me to ask you guys this, and I guess we'll start with Matt since you're on the bottom there. When was the first time you remember seeing this? If you your first reaction to this movie, or just something you remember that you like to think about when you think of this movie?
It's actually interesting. I saw this when it came out theatrically, so I'm that old. I was a little kid when it came out, but I do remember it, and it was definitely part of my rotation back in the day, like one of the many movies I'd watch over and over and over. But I probably hadn't seen this movie in, I don't know, 22 years, 25, something. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I rewatched it for in preparation for the stream, and it was weird. It's like, I don't know if you get that sensation that you get when you haven't seen something in a long time, but you had seen it many times before. Like, I remembered everything beat for beat pretty much as it came up, but at the same time, I couldn't remember, like, if that makes sense. But like, as things were going, I was like, I remember all of this.
It was coming back to you.
It was just coming back to me as I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, this is an awesome movie. It was like back in the day, Schwarzenegger was on the top, Terminator 2 hadn't come out yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, but he was still like, top of his game. And this is back in the day when, if you were an action star, you sort of had to like ease into doing the kid movies, like the comedies, whereas like, Vin Diesel, The Rock, when they were starting their careers, they jumped into this shit like really early. And I think that it made their career suffer. Part of what made it cool for Arnold is he had that persona about him before doing the film, before doing a comedy. And so like, oh, wow, the Terminator is going to be doing this, like, this movie where he's a kindergarten teacher. That's
He'd already done
hilarious.
Twins too.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. With Ivan Reitman. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, he was easing into that as opposed to like, Vin Diesel, like early on in his career, starting with what was the babysitter movie that he did? I don't even remember what that shit
The
was
Pacifier.
called. Pacifier. Yeah. And then
Gosh.
you have The Rock with the Tooth Fairy and shit like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, great memories. This is an awesome good time.
Sin, your turn.
So, I honestly can't tell you when specifically I saw it. I did not see it on the big screen, but when it came out on home video was when I saw it. And I don't remember if it came out on home video before T2 or after T2.
Well, this was 1990, so
It
I'm
came
pretty
out
certain.
at the end of 1990, but back in the day,
Yeah,
when we
VHS
used to have
releases,
to
yeah.
walk, uphill both ways in the snow, it would take like a half a year or maybe up to a year before you'd see something on the home video market. So I honestly don't remember when I saw this, but I remember that I loved it, and I've seen it multiple times since then. But I rewatched it yesterday, and it had been a few years since I'd seen it, but love it still. I dig this movie so much. It's like it's got the perfect blend of his action and his badassery, but yet at the same time, this wholesome, sweet story, with him with the kids, and it's got some sort of romance elements, if you like that sort of stuff. So it's like this great little package. Yeah, love it.
It's almost like two movies that just got merged into
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
It's like they took two
exactly.
completely different
Yeah,
movies.
because it
and just
starts off
slapped them.
totally different, right?
Yeah.
And then it switches tone when he
It
becomes the
flip
teacher.
flops back and forth between the like comedic aspects and the more dramatic ones pretty well.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, to piggyback on, I think it was it you, Matt, who just said that there was scenes that you couldn't quite remember where they were when you were watching it. Like you're like, I remember these, but they're out of order, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, as you're watching it, it's been so long, but as it was going on, I just was remembering everything beat for beat. Like, when you see a movie so many times as a kid, you start kind of memorizing the rhythms of the movie.
Yeah.
And like that was coming back to me as I was watching it.
There's one scene, and obviously we'll get to it very shortly, where I was convinced it was way earlier in the movie.
Okay.
And it was when the chick ODs.
Yes.
I was convinced that was about like a half hour before it happens. And I was
Yeah, me too. I had forgotten that that's when it happened. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll pull up my slides. We can get into this. But first, of course, hello chat. They'll slowly start trickling in. Like I said, I kind of screwed up with the listing of this one because I had hit it because it was originally scheduled for like a week and a half ago or like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And then, hey, what's up, TJM? But yeah, so I'm going to be handling all of the slides and clips and stuff. So if I don't respond to the chat, I'm sorry. I'm handling everything by myself today. So. But that being said, let's get into it. And hold on, let's move this stuff around into the theater style. So obviously, it's Kindergarten Cop. Opens up. So like we were saying, this opens up in a kind of almost traditional like cop drama style.
Mm-hmm.
You have him tailing Crisp. I love the fact that I don't have a good shot of it here, but the trench coat he's wearing is very reminiscent of the one that Kyle Reese wears in Terminator.
And
that was
those are
something
some
that
cool sunglasses too.
Well,
They
and he-
remind me of Sarah Connor's, but they're not exactly hers.
He
Yeah.
kind of looks like how he'll look in the future for End of Days.
yes.
kind of-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, so it's funny because that was a thing that he used to do a lot in his earlier movies. Even up until True Lies, they would make a lot of references to other movies he was in.
Yes.
Whether it be the fact that in Terminator 2 it's the exact same minigun that was used in Predator. Here it's the jacket in True Lies, the big dude who beats the shit out of him in the bathroom has the jacket that he wore in T1. So like there
Oh.
was they did a lot of referencing to his own films at this point. But yeah, so we're trailing Crisp, who by like, I mean, just look comparison, like disheveled, looking dude, and then Crisp is, yeah, he's crisp.
Ha,
He's very
ha.
crisp. He's basically he's going to meet with this dude who we see exactly what happens to him in the near future, but he's been searching for his son, and I guess technically they never divorced, so it is just his wife, who supposedly skipped town with about $3 million, and he hasn't been able to locate them. I have very loose notes on a lot of these slides, so if I jump a little ahead, I'm sorry. But this guy, I forget his name off the top of my head all of a sudden, has
Junkie number one.
Yeah, Junkie number 1 and Junkie number 2 here have come here with the information that he needs. And, they're going to try and extort him for like $1,000, which they do it really badly, might I add. It's like,
Oh yeah, he's pretty dumb.
he's like, the information's gonna cost you.
And then he just hands it without even getting any money. He just tells him, right?
Like, here's the thing: is if you're gonna approach a drug lord, like try to get information out of him. Try to get money out of him. You probably lead with the information, and then you kind of go like, "Hey, you think to yourself, I'm probably gonna die, but if I give it to him and I'm nice and I go, hey, I'm really struggling. Is there anything you could do for me? I did this for you. Maybe you'll get something, but you probably won't get shot in the instance,
I don't know. Chris just seems like the guy that just likes to kill people anyway. So, plus he wouldn't want to leave any witnesses behind.
So, what was her name again? I should have taken better notes.
Don't remember.
Junkie number 2.
Junkie number 2 overhears this. And she runs out, and basically she gets handcuffed to him because Kimble shows up. And that's a great shot, actually. I like the lot. I like all the.
That could be a painting right there.
Yeah. This is don't do drugs. This is what this is. But yeah, so basically he handcuffs her to this dead guy to go chase down Kimble, who goes to meet with his mother in the salon, who hates her hair, might I add.
Well, I mean, she's getting her hair cut in the mall, so
yeah, it's like
what does she expect?
Yeah. But he holds him up. He's gonna arrest him. Yeah, and this is actually when all of the security guards come and pull guns. This reminds me, like, the 90s was a different time, man. Like, it was just like,
well, this whole movie's a reminder of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just walked right in there with the gun pulled out and everything. It was funny.
So, I guess we'll stop right there on the slides. It's funny. Every time I watch this movie, and it's probably the same for you guys too, I kind of forget about this opening sequence. Like, in my mind, he just starts as the kindergarten teacher, and I just forget about this whole beginning. I don't know if you guys have the same.
No, I always felt like, even as a kid, I mean, I couldn't articulate it this way back then, but the movie does a good job at starting out as like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, like an action movie, So I always did remember kind of feeling like, oh, this is just like a cool Arnold action movie. And like, they do a good job at like easing you into the family comedy aspect later on.
No, yeah, that's a good observation. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the opening, Crisp and, all the Paddy Poopa, all the Schwarzenegger.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
I'm the Paddy Poopa. Actually, I love when she does later on, when she does the Austrian accent.
Oh, that's good. That's a great scene. That's a really good scene.
It's funny because a lot of my favorite scenes in this movie are almost ones that they're almost blink and forget scenes at certain points. It's like everybody knows the main ones, obviously. And then, but some of the ones that get forgot, like that, and obviously everyone knows, like, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. That's
not a tumor.
And it's not. It was
not a tumor.
Exact same thing.
There is no bathroom.
There is no bathroom.
But yeah, so this is when we're introduced to Phoebe, who goes by like 5 names during this movie. So I'll stick. She goes by Ursula. She goes by like several names because she's undercover, and she might be the worst interrogation, like most worst interrogator of all time. She is like, I'll cook you dinner if you give us the information. It's like, no, probably not going to work.
I will say this about her though: when I was a kid, I did not find her attractive whatsoever, but I'm older now. I'm like, she's kind of cute.
She is
I don't
cute.
know.
Yeah.
She's kind of cute.
Because she's so little and
yeah,
she's so spunky and she's got this big appetite for someone so tiny. And
yeah,
I
I
always
kind of
got
like her.
the biggest kick out of the scene where she's throwing up, and he's like hauling her back to the car.
Yep. In the rain. That's a good shot.
Yeah, I love that
I think
scene.
that's actually like a phenomenon that sort of happens because who that happened to me with? When I was watching Home Alone. And I saw Catherine O'Hara. Yeah. And I was like, when I was a kid, she was just a bitchy mother, but now like
that's not bad.
I like what she's got going on right about now. It's like,
yeah,
and then I looked
Catherine
it up.
O'Hara effect.
Yeah. And then I looked it up, and at the time the movie was out, she was about the same age as me, like give or take a year or two or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, it makes sense. It's like my taste has evolved into what makes sense. It's like, it's what was it? There's certain actresses that, like, as they get older, I'm like, they're just keeping up with my taste. It's just they went from here to here to here to here. It's like, but yeah, so they get no information out of Junkie number 2. So Crisp decides to go on his own little, let me just make sure. Yeah, his own little interrogation, which I actually have a clip of with no sound, so we can talk over this one. Basically, just goes there. Yeah.
That Mexican guy is like in so many movies. He's
they reused a lot of actors like that.
Oh yeah,
I love this shotgun that he has. This compact shotgun.
And the guy was like, "Yeah, I'll keep an eye on your car." And then he walks away, and he's like, "Man, he's so lucky I didn't." Like talking smack.
I did. Really good. I did. He's lucky I didn't kick his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, just like his look. This could be from a Terminator film.
Yes,
and that was the point.
Yeah. Yep.
That scene is actually very reminiscent of the tech noir scene. It's like the reverse of it though, because he doesn't shoot anybody. He has a target that he wants to bring out alive and shoots nobody. And in the tech noir scene, he has a target he wants to kill and kills everybody else. It's very even has the same aesthetic with the fencing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty but yeah, so I don't have it, but he does sit up next to her and he basically threatens to just follow her around for the rest of her life if she doesn't roll over on. Yeah, yep. I like you a lot. You're going to be seeing a lot of me. So, like everybody has an Arnold impersonation.
There's like no due process. He just goes in and starts shooting everything up. Would not happen.
Well, but the thing is, he doesn't kill anybody. I mean, he punches a few. He might be reprimanded for, like assault, like
But all the paperwork, though, just like using his firearm, like he's just different time, man.
Oh yeah.
Tell you one thing, Crisp with his hair down looks a lot different. And let's see,
that's a good thumbnail right there.
Yeah, I probably should have used that, but no, I don't think anybody would have known what that was from. They would have just been like, okay.
Less context, the better.
Yeah. Right.
I'm trying to figure out. So he's 6 foot. He's not quite pressed up against
tall. I mean, surprises me that he's that tall.
Arnold is 6'4", and he doesn't look like
he's not. Arnold is not 6'4".
He's not?
No.
I thought he was. That's what they always reported him
I know
as.
he fudged the truth and said he was like 6'3" or something, but he's probably more like 6'1". Because I always remembered knowing that he was my husband's height. And he's a little bit taller than one of my other brothers. And my other brother, my bodybuilder brother, he went and Arnold has shrunk. He's no longer as tall as he was, and he was taller than Arnold, and my brother is 5'11". So Arnold.
I do have a super chat I'm going to bring up. I'm going to try to check back for these as often as I can, guys. From Flummoxed Buffoon 87 for 1999, which is a great year.
I totally missed that. Sorry, that popped up just a little bit ago because I totally didn't see that.
Rip to local malls and the natural habitat and ecosystems of goth baddies and scene girls.
Yep.
Yeah, malls are kind of dying.
Oh,
They
it's
really
done.
are.
They're done. Like that. It
Yeah.
just, even if they're still around, it's not part of the culture of the youth to like
Mhm.
hang
No.
out in them anymore. You know,
Mm-mm.
that whole aspect is done. Sad.
Have a good stream, Dark Hour. Thank you for that, and I will. I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to revive these. They're probably gonna be monthly, only because these are a lot of work. Like these, because I don't like to just come on and start talking about the movie with no context and visuals and stuff. But these are an extreme amount of work just to get shit underneath the radar. Like even my clips, just they'll be 8 seconds, and they'll be like, "Nah, you can't use that." But I
I hope you
appreciate.
dispute all of those claims.
Oh, I
in
do
your
every
head.
time.
Oh,
I've
okay.
never lost. I've
Yeah,
never lost.
me either, but still, it's a headache.
Oh, and Joe is in the chat. He can attest to that. It's annoying. But yes, so I can only see the comments when I'm not controlling the other stuff. I'm sorry. But yeah, like right here. I mean, his hair. This guy. He looks like he's in a completely different movie right now.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, let me move back.
His
Whenever I click
face, it looks so punchable there. I swear.
But yeah, so the one thing that they can't really get the proper stuff. Essentially, Chris brings it up to him. Hey, you think that you're gonna convict me based just solely on the testimony of a junkie? Which is the thing you like sit there and you're like, yeah, no one would ever really listen to this person.
He's right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they, of course, they need to find his wife, and that would be, so they basically have to fly out to, where was it? It was
Oregon.
Astoria, Oregon.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which that reminds me, actually, the way that we even know where she is that first junkie who got shot, right? Just happened to be a trucker from California that made a delivery to Astoria, Oregon, to this random elementary school, and just noticed his wife.
Did he say it was at the school or just somewhere else
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
just saw her?
He said that he
it was
saw the
at the
kid
school.
walking
Okay.
into the school.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Forgot
Yeah,
about
like
that.
the plot just to get Schwarzenegger into the kindergarten class so we can see all the hijinks ensue. It's very weak, but hey, I'm here for it. And in this scene in the plane, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, Angela Bassett plays the stewardess.
Yes.
I
Yep.
was
I
like,
did not notice that.
yes,
Actually.
that's Angela Bassett. That was her, and I looked her up, and
Yep.
sure enough, it's one of her earlier film appearances.
Mm-hmm.
I'll believe you. And I actually love what I wish I would have had the clip for this, but I love when he pulls the kid in and is like, "If you don't if you don't knock it off, I'm going to do this." And he breaks
Snaps
the pencil.
the kid's eyes.
Kid's like,
too many pencils.
there you go. There's another reference that nobody ever really brought up. Every time I switch, I have to. Yeah, there we go. There's the face. Which is funny because it's really not that hard to break a pencil with your thumb. They're not that strong.
It's not, but minus that kid being fat, that was like my exact haircut back in that time. Like I relate to all the kids in this movie. Like
they all
that's
have like a variation of the same haircut. It's all
my
like,
mom gave me that stupid bowl cut back in the day.
Every kid in this movie has every boy, I should say, has a different level of the bowl cut. Like they just did it like a couple of days apart from each other. They'd be like, okay, now you're getting your bowl cut, and then 2 days later they'll do this one. But yeah, so I think we mentioned it earlier that she's been eating, that she gets all. We might have did it backstage, or I'm not sure if it was in the beginning, but yeah, she gets Montezuma's revenge. Let's call it that. That's what ends up happening to her. That's basically
food poisoning.
Yeah, it's food poisoning, which is they set up for things really well in this movie, actually.
Yes.
So like, there's a lot of little subtle setups. She's obviously, she loves food. She eventually find out that she's marrying a chef, and this is the downfall: is that she's just eating everything in sight. So she ate something that was bad.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of that happening go through the roof when you just eat things nonstop.
Well, and I mentioned just like a second ago that the logic to get them to the elementary school is kind of weak. But that being said, this was still made during a time where the writers thought logically through everything, and like there was like a strong point A to point B to point C that we sorely lack in storytelling, like general storytelling today.
Yeah, definitely. It was. They sat down. They clearly did an outline and character profiles for all of these characters. They weren't just like they didn't just sit down and go, she gets food poisoning for no reason. Like they made her
Exactly.
essentially a like a food addict. Like she
Mhm.
loves
Yeah.
eating.
And nowadays it would just happen, and like the audience would just go with it.
Here's
Whatever,
where she's
who cares?
where he's carrying
Who
her.
Yeah.
cares?
So here's something that's hilarious. I think a lot of people forget this is that they've only known each other for like 2 days at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like,
They're supposed to be posed as
Yeah,
husband and wife.
yeah. And that's one of the funniest things about this movie is they play off each other so well, and you feel like they've been partners forever, but they really just met when she did that interrogation. By the end of the movie, they've only known each other for like 9 days.
Well, yeah, and like that's the other thing too about just when I was a kid, this movie felt like it unfolded over months, I
Yeah,
think.
it
But
did
when
feel
you rewatch it, it's like, yeah,
just a
like you
few
said,
days.
days.
Yep.
And somebody in the chat mentioned that this. Let me go back and see it real quick. This is such an annoying thing to do. But yeah, how he like goes. Oh, here it is. It was Flummox Buffoon again. I like how dirty Arnold looks till he becomes a teacher. Then he's Mr. Clean. He does clean up really well in this movie. Which, I mean, that makes sense. He's all he had to do was shave. Really, if you look at him earlier in the, he just had to
and
shave
style his hair a little.
He
yeah,
combs
and
his
like
hair.
comb his
Yeah.
hair. He has a great line in here where he basically says, they're 6 years old. What's the worst they could do, or something like that? And she just like passes out. He's like, because she tells him to take the gun off.
Yeah.
And he's
That's just,
six.
on second
second
thought,
thought.
take the gun.
Yeah.
On second thought, take the gun. I forget this woman's name, but
Linda Hunt is her.
That's it, Linda
name.
Hunt.
Mhm.
I love the fact that they chose her for the principal to just make Arnold look even more massive. She's barely taller than the kindergartners in this movie.
She's so tiny. Interestingly enough, the very first thing I ever saw her in was, I think, a Mel Gibson movie, and she played a man.
Yeah. She won. She was either nominated or she won an Oscar for that movie, The Year of Living Dangerously.
Yes, that I couldn't remember the name of
Yeah.
it. And then, of course, I've seen her in other things, obviously. And then this, I loved her role in here. I loved when she was introducing him. We've kind of moved past that now on the slides, but he's standing outside and he's kind of like,
I'm going back.
he's like
Yeah.
doing this breathing because he's anxious about coming in to face this room full of kids. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you can only capture so much in a slide.
Oh yeah, it just I specifically wrote that down in my notes. Just the breathing before he goes in cracked me up, and I like this camera work that they did to really
it's
just
good.
demonstrate how big he was compared
Yeah.
to
This
them.
girl's overselling it a little bit, right?
There's
here.
a whole lot of
there-
kids
yeah.
suck.
This one's not selling it at all. You could not get more relaxed than this kid in this scene. The
Well,
rest
and
of them, pretty much all of them are looking in the same spot. Like if you look,
yeah,
except
their
for
eye lines
her.
are some of their eye lines are off. Yeah.
No, I mean this kid's looking at his crotch.
Whatever,
I
yeah.
don't know why this kid could not give two shits. Which is funny because he's the one at the end who like is crying over Kimble being on the thing. So it's like the fact that he just doesn't give a shit right here. I love the kids in this movie make the personalities that they put forward just make the movie so much better. And they maintain for the most part through the movie. I mean, some of them, they're kids, so obviously their acting's a little off here and there.
Mhm.
But for the most part, where is he? Where's the one that I can't see him? He's probably over here. The one who he's like at the end, he's like, they're gonna do it. Like he has a very consistent way of pointing out things throughout the whole movie. Obviously, this kid says the most inappropriate thing at all times.
And there's the kid that's obsessed with death, and then
that's the one. That's the one we're gonna do.
Okay,
They're gonna do it.
Yeah. Is he the same kid that's looking up the girl's skirts?
I was wondering, but I don't.
I
wanna
think
say
so. I think so.
Okay, because I could not remember. if
Maybe
that
not.
was
I have
like
that clip, so when we get to there, we'll be able to look
Yeah.
at it. It's
I
very
just
shortly
watched it. I don't
afterwards.
remember.
That scene is so chaotic. It's hard to see what's going
There's
on.
only a few kids that really stand out.
The
for
twins are they only have the one line that's really funny though. Unfortunately, they kind of disappear after that. But yeah, obviously this kid, Dominic, the one who's obsessed with death, the one who is getting beaten, the little girl who has to go to the bathroom. She's very consistent in her, like, she starts like proud in the delivery, and then she always just kind of like every line she brings down. But yeah, so like, you know, this is when he first meets them, and I have the clip. Everyone, this was a mandatory clip.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Thanks for the tip.
A very simple observation that
Yeah, the basics.
that is just disputed.
Don't try to muddy it, y'all. It's the basics. That's
It's
just
very
the way
problematic,
it is.
is what it is. It's a
There's
very
lots of
problematic scene.
Well, I don't know if you can go back to that shot with all the kids sitting there. You know, if you
I
think
can.
about the diversity in there, it's kind of lacking. You know, I mean,
I know.
come
I
on.
mean, let's take a look. I mean, they got a black kid here.
Imagine though if it were.
Remember,
made
this is
today.
also East, like fucking burnt scrotum, Oregon. Like, what the
Doesn't
fuck is
matter.
this?
Like
you
imagine
know?
imagine if they made this today, what that classroom
Like
would
middle
look
of
like.
nowhere, Oregon. Like, Asian. I mean, let's look at it realistically. Okay, so we got a black kid. This would be a black kid in the remake right here, because he's a ginger, and this one would be too. So we'd have 3 black kids in the remake.
Absolutely.
Right
Oh, yeah.
all the
very
gingers.
least.
Oh, and her too.
And
No,
then
but
the rest.
the
Would be
redheads
Latino.
outnumber the minorities in this. Like, now that I
Right.
look at it.
You had the one girl that in that one scene where she's speaking Spanish, you know, and like the kids are kind of like, you know, but like now that would be like the entire classroom.
Yeah, this girl I think was the one who speaks Spanish, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, mi papa. I don't know what she says.
I knew what she said, but I can't remember now what it was.
I like to think that sequence, Arnold wasn't really sure what they were going to say, and his reactions are natural.
Genuine, yeah.
Because like he just kind of looks at them like.
Well, I will say this before getting into this career, if you want to call it that, years and years ago,
this paid hobby that we all do.
years and years ago, I actually was a substitute teacher, and his anxiety going into, like, I remember my first day. I only did it for like a year or two, but his anxiety going into that classroom, like you mentioned, Sin, the breathing, that's how my first day was. I remember feeling exactly like that. And I think my first day was at a middle school class too, which is a fucking nightmare. But anyway, it was just the nightmare that he's feeling right now. Like it sort of like brought me back to my first day substitute teaching. So they did a really good job at that feel, you know.
He especially, so I don't have the still here, but this is the immediate aftermath of the still, and then I have a clip to go along with it. But the first child that kind of addresses him is the girl who has to use the bathroom, which I'll just play it. Hold on, where is it? Oh, and I guess I don't have her saying that. I have to. This scene pretty much sums up his first day.
You know, kindergarten is like the ocean. You don't want to turn your back on it.
Two more days of this, and you'll quit.
The skirt kid is a different kid, by the way. They look similar.
Yeah.
Different kid.
Gosh.
Greatest. I just like to think that this is the face that Arnold makes during so many aspects of his life, and just stare at it all day.
He, in my opinion, I think Arnold delivers a genuinely good performance in this movie. It's one of his better. I always think that. I mean, of course, we all like Terminator 2 and everything, but if I were to be objective, I would say that Arnold's best performance is probably in True Lies. But this is like probably like a close second. Like he's good in this movie.
Yes, he is good in this movie and true. So as far as like his best dramatic performance, I would say that's probably in Maggie.
Yeah,
He
okay.
was really good in that. But
Yeah.
yeah, he shows all these different. He's the tough guy. He's scared. With the kids, and then he shows this depth and sadness when he's thinking about his child. And the fact that he doesn't see him very much. Yeah, he goes through a lot of range in here.
Arnold often gets maligned for his acting ability. He did improve a lot over the years.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
then he started kind of taking on roles he probably shouldn't have, that were a little bit above his rank, like where he was. I feel like this was right in the wheelhouse.
Yep.
Arnold was always funnier than people made him out to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
The guy oozed charisma, he was just
Yeah.
a very charismatic dude.
And I can understand him not wanting to. Every time I click it, I can understand him not wanting to stay only in the action genre. You want to diversify. He wanted to be more, and he did it in certain ways. And then but also he had to evolve because that style of movie was no longer as relevant after. I always say that the where it switched was the Matrix. That was when the big burly, machine gun toting guy was not as appealing, and you wanted that like sleek, thinner guy who was, more technical kind of thing. But I've always said Arnold's probably my all-time favorite actor. I can't see anybody else being.
Oh, yeah, I love Arnold. I just absolutely.
Yeah, he's great. I think that Arnold was more concerned about like being sort of like a superstar as opposed to like the craft of acting. I think that if you were to compare Schwarzenegger and Stallone, Stallone was more like, he's got the screenwriting background. Like he cared more about the craft than I think Arnold did.
Arnold eventually started to.
Yeah, but especially early
yeah.
on, though, it was just
Oh,
about,
of course.
he just wanted to dominate
leaned
the world.
into. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Have you listened to or read his Total Recall biography?
I have not.
It's very good.
I'll have to check that. But yeah, huge fan. Arnold's great. All time.
I've always said he's my blank check guy, and what I mean by that is, I've met a lot of celebrities, whether it be paid at like a convention or in walks of life. I've met some celebrities too. But if you were to sit down and be like, put a check in front of me, be like, what number will you put on this to meet Arnold? I always said like, the maximum is my bank account. Like that's what I would do. Like it's, and unfortunately the time to meet him is becoming shorter and shorter.
Oh, that would be like, he is my pie in the sky. I met Linda Hamilton, and that was fantastic.
That's awesome.
She was such a lovely person. But Arnold, he has been such an inspiration to me, you guys. Like I have, because of Arnold, because of Terminator and Arnold, I became very interested in health and fitness and exercise and taking care. So he is just like, he is up here for me. Seriously, even though he has said some pretty dumb shit, I still love him so much.
Well, that reminds me, actually,
really sad when he's not with us anymore.
This movie kind of came out in conjunction with when he became the commissioner or the president of the. It was like the presidential physical
fitness and sports. Yes, I thought he did that in the 80s, and maybe it went into the.
No, it was from 90 to 93. He did
90
that.
93. Okay, he came to my brother's elementary school or middle school or something way back when. That was cool.
And so this kind of came out in conjunction with that. He was working with the school systems and stuff, so it made sense that those two things happened at relatively the same time. By the way, this is when he goes to get the ferret. Who become another
ferret?
What?
This is a ferret.
This is the ferret. We pet him nice. It's funny because a lot of people people have heard me say this on streams before. My grandmother is from Austria.
Oh.
Her town was only, they were in the mountains, so obviously, like in the United States, it would be like, a 45, like a 30-minute drive, 45-minute drive. But they're in the mountains, so it would take like 3 hours to get. But their towns were only maybe 20 miles apart.
Oh, cool.
And so, he's from Thal, she was from Graz, and like a little small mountain town in the Graz state. And but yeah, so like her accent was very similar to his when I was growing up. So take that how you will. It's like imagine an old like a small old lady that sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's fucking hilarious.
Well, I've heard that when he speaks German, it's funny because it sounds kind of hicky and
it's rural. It's rural
very
German.
rural. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like it's like Tennessee or Kentucky would be for here. Like it would be like slower, kind of like the words are like a little off. It's not. It's if he was speaking German to someone from say Munich or Berlin, they'd probably look at him a little weird. Yeah. Like, but yeah, he goes, he gets the ferret, and then that sort of calms the kids down for a little while, and he goes home and.
Well, he made them cry. They had started crying because he yelled at them.
That was at the end of the clip.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so then he passes out, and I noticed something when rewatching this in HD. You can see every pore in his face.
Yeah.
Let's see where we are. Okay, so this is Zach. This is the one kid, and another one that just has that bowl cut. It's just everybody's got the bowl cut.
Our fucking moms, man. What was wrong with them?
Well, these were all single moms that were busy. They were.
My mom wasn't single at the time. So.
Well, they do specifically mention.
Oh, she's single now. Put in a good word for me.
They mentioned that this place is the single parent capital of the world or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
But this is when he was, doing the Who Is Your Daddy and What Does He Do, which I wanted to get the clip of, but there's no way to cut that.
Right.
There was just no way because all this. So I'll just go through some of the ones like the twins. Our mother says our father is a real sex machine. Yeah. And then the one kid, my daddy is a gynecologist and he looks at vaginas all day long. My father hasn't done anything since the crash, which I'm not sure if that was a stock market crash or a physical crash.
I was wondering the same thing, but I feel like it was probably physical.
My guess is he was a truck driver or something.
But stock market crash had been a crash in
well there
87.
was the crash in the late 80s, so that's why I wasn't sure. A couple of other ones. Obviously, we get the setup for Dominic says I don't see my father. He's from France. He lives in France. A couple of the other boys also say like they don't know their fathers.
Yeah, there's some like red herrings dropped in there.
Yep.
Yeah. But they really hard set up for Zach to be the one because he's so quiet and so reserved. We don't actually see that here yet exactly why. But while this is going on, he's trying to get the information out of him. He's like, did your daddy teach you this? Like, what did you? And then that's when the fire alarm goes off. And this is.
And he goes out carrying the kids one under one arm and holding one. What a scene. Oh my gosh.
This chaos. I remember being in elementary school and it was fire drills in elementary school were insanity.
Yeah, this legitimately captures that insanity perfectly. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what a fire drill was like back then.
Yeah. So there's a reason why you call when something goes nuts a fire drill. And they take, I think she says, 4 minutes. You should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, they'd probably be dead. Nah. Well, it's funny because this is another setup. It's obviously the fires will become relevant to the plot later, and it's just these subtle little things that you don't even really pay attention to. I'm gonna go through the comments for a little bit. Oh yes, sorry, Iceman. I was using freedom measurements, not zero. I'm trying to get to the chat as best I can, guys. I have to block it when I'm going to the. Tennessee gang, rise up. I did mention Tennessee.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Sin, you're out there. Oh, the Imperial units. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this kind of this is when he goes to try and catch up to Zach's mother. I have to stop hitting it again when I go to but he can't catch up to her. And then later that night, Ursula. Her name's Phoebe. She's going to go by Ursula in a minute. She's feeling much better, so they decide to go out to dinner. And this is one of my favorite scenes when she's just ordering all the food in in an Austrian accent. Good arms. Good arms.
And she ordered a ton of food. She was much, much better.
Honestly, she ordered exactly what I would order, like a ribeye steak with mashed potatoes and a large green salad. Like that's pretty much what I would order at a steakhouse. So I don't know. What would you guys order if you were? I'm assuming that this is like a steakhouse.
Maybe the steak and the salad, but no mashed potatoes.
I would get the exact thing that she ordered as well.
Yeah, get a nice ribeye medium. Oof.
Yep.
I'm getting hungry now. But so then he tells the story because he has to make this story up on the spot, my dad, which it's impressive that he does. So she asks, like, why did you get into kindergarten teaching? And he mentions, oh, well, my father was a teacher. My mother was a teacher. Ursula's a teacher because that's what she's calling herself now. And, we have a tradition in Austria. You follow in your family's footsteps, which actually is not untrue because most of those countries, it was, at least in up until a certain point, more, not so much now, but a lot of them were family businesses. If your father was a blacksmith, you learned how to be a blacksmith. Like that's not untrue what he's saying, but it's obviously a lie for this.
Right. But also it was sort of an easy lie to make up because earlier in the movie, he had said his father was a cop, his brother was a cop or something. Yeah. So it kind of fell in line with the way things really did end up for him.
Yeah, it's kind of a way of giving her some exposition, telling her about himself, but just swapping cop with teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just basically also giving us the audience an insight of his background as well. Good writing,
Mm-hmm.
So, and also just on the still, can we just acknowledge that I miss the days when actresses were just,
mostly plain Jane, but like maybe.
I mean, she's cute, like she's a cute woman, and like she doesn't have like fucking like bright ass white fake veneer teeth. Her lips aren't like duck lips. Like she just, she doesn't look like an Instagram model, which like every actress in this role would be now. She just looks like a normal person, but she's attractive.
She would be significantly younger, like
exactly.
She's clearly in her like 30s here. I mean, maybe or at least late 20s. She'd be like 22, and like it just wouldn't work. Yeah, back then a 6 was considered perfectly fine. You're attractive. You don't have to be a 9. It's like
you don't have to be model material.
Yeah, you could just be a slightly above average woman and make it believable that he's interested in her. So yeah, that's how the dinner goes. This is kind of like where he starts to hatch the idea here. So he utilizes his police sort of drill sergeant style of how he's going to do things. And I do have a clip here that I love, and but he's gonna teach these kids. He mentions that they lack discipline. Let's play the clip. Hold on.
You kids are soft. You lack discipline. But I've got news for you. You are mine now. You belong to me. No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble have to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
He's good.
There is no bathroom. I love the concept of like
you kids are soft.
Kids are soft. You lack discipline. I was thinking about this earlier. So like these are kindergartners, right? And he has them doing like military style drills. They're running the tires, they're doing all this stuff, doing this. And, obviously he works in a couple of more kid-like things. We find out later at the end of the movie that he decides to be live here permanently and be the kindergarten teacher. This would be the most militant elementary school ever by the end of like 5 years.
Yeah. All those kids would be whipped into shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, this is actually really smart on his part. He obviously is out of his depth, but he's able to re-establish control by using things a way he knows how to do it, but in a smart way. Yep. He's basically doing like physical education teacher stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So then after it works, he goes back to the motel or whatever this is, and I love that they have the gun hidden right by the door. That's nice. And he hears something, so he gets the gun, and that's when he finds this scene.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, there's really no point to this scene, but it's just like a good character moment, and it also explains why she's not really physically into Schwarzenegger. Like why their relationship is completely platonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a fiance. And...
Yeah.
Well, not only that, I mean, clearly her type is not a muscle bound.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's about as average of a dude you could be. Like he's balding, he's not in great shape,
but he's a great cook.
He's clumsy as shit.
Yes, he is.
His name is Henry Shoup. I mean, come on, that's
what a great.
His whole name is 10 letters. Like that's about as.
I love when he comes out in the robe. That's in her robe. That's so good.
Yeah.
And how also they lead you to think when you hear all like the moaning and you think there's some funny business really going on, but she's just eating this food.
She's just eating, which that's she's like, oh god, and she's just eating pasta or whatever the hell
it's funny. He had made it for her for her birthday.
Yeah. These two look, and kind of harkening back to what Matt said, these two look like they belong together. Like they don't.
Yeah.
There's not a huge disparity in, he's maybe a little under her, like she's a little out of his league, but not insanely out of his league, But she's also kind of a mess of a human being too. Like she's a former teacher that became a police officer and has her own mental issues. So everybody here feels like a real person in this movie.
Exactly.
Even the villains feel like real people. Let's see where we're at. Oh, so after multiple times of not being able to get Zach's mother to talk to him, she finally, he finally get flags her down, and she tells him, hey, I have to stop doing that. I keep going to move my mouse off, and I know what this is about. You probably noticed the bruises. My husband's going to counseling, which this. So she's actually doing the thing you're not supposed to do when you get pulled over by the police, which is she's just talking and giving out information that wasn't what the original thing was. Little does she know that she's talking to a cop. She just thinks she's talking to a teacher. But even then, you don't want the school involved. This sub story I love because the dude gets what's coming to him later, and we'll see that.
Well, yeah, when we get there, I have some comments, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually clipped that specifically. Something about the vindication of that scene, it just makes you feel real good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one thing that this movie does so well is it has a lot of small subplots that do actually continue and feel like it's lived in. This is one of them. There's the one about the one mother, the one that with the doll's mother, the one with the kid who she thought she was gay.
Kathy Moriarty.
Moriarty, yeah.
Whose husband ran off with another guy.
Now she has a bunch of money because of the divorce, so she uses it to try and win Curry favor.
Well, and by the way, she says, oh yeah, he ran off with another man, and Schwarzenegger's basically that's fucked up. Nowadays that would be celebrated. He's just living his authentic self, and they would have written her to be happy for him, and disregard the fact that he broke up their family. You know what I mean?
And it also, one thing about it, her concern that her son might be gay makes sense. When you think about that.
She's concerned about that. And she's like, him playing with dolls is fucking weird. Again, nowadays that's behavior that's encouraged. It's we all, not to get into it.
Well, but... not necessarily. Well, let's say maybe not encourage, but if a child plays with dolls, automatically a boy plays with dolls, this somehow means he really wants to be a girl.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and they talk about the whole, the social construct nonsense about gender. That's not a social construct. There are certain social constructs assigned to gender, like pink should only be for girls and blue for boys, that sort of nonsense. But yeah, I mean, it's an obvious concern she has. Would you really actively want your child to be that different from the norm? No, you wouldn't. Most parents wouldn't. I mean, nowadays some parents actively encourage it, but still,
Well, she also has an internal trauma about someone who's gay. So
yeah,
her
because of what
being
it did to her
averse to
family.
it is yeah, her being averse to it is explained in the story. It's not just a straight up bigotry. I hate gay
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
She actually has a reason to be like that. It's not, and she's not made out to be a villain because of it. She's not really that much in the movie either.
No.
After
Well,
that
yeah.
sequence, she's only in like 2 more scenes.
But that just that would be eliminated nowadays.
Yeah.
Or
did we have a
sorry.
cat?
She would be
That's- yeah.
presented as homophobic.
Exactly. They would turn her into like a bad person essentially, that because she felt that way. And then like Arnold or the teacher would have to lecture her.
And he would have to, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking stupid,
Yeah.
But like it's weird. You're watching this movie and you're like, oh wow, normal people, normal behavior,
Right.
weird.
I know. I miss those days.
Speaking of people who don't know how to act normal, that's this whole sequence right here. Arnold actually says a great line that's kind of underrated. It's that the automatic way to out yourself as being undercover is to start doing things you normally wouldn't. And she's like, so you wouldn't take a bottle of wine to dinner? Like he's so about his job and his like that's what ruined his marriage. It's been, and he's essentially being retrained this whole movie to be not only a teacher, but like a better father figure, a better human being, and not just be so into his career, which has gotten him nowhere realistically. He's miserable. He doesn't have a lot of money. Like Discord just kicked out. That's fine. Now I'm very bright. But yeah, so there's this whole sequence is actually really important to this is like the turning point for him where he's kind of going soft, so to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, while dinner's being prepared, Dominic takes him out to go see, his hidden
lasers.
The lasers.
To keep the bad man away. And so that's when we have the first real clear indication that this might possibly be the people he's looking for. Or maybe another red herring, but that's when it occurs to him.
I think as an audience, this is when you start making the connection. He's not sure. Phoebe's not sure, but I think we're sure because not only have they been important up to this point, it's too far into the movie to be still throwing out red herrings like that, And it's really down to just the two of them. It's down to Zach and him, and we've already found out that Zach it can't be him because his father's beating him.
Right, his dad's
it's
around.
Really, it's eliminated. He's eliminated pretty much everybody else. He only had a couple of leads. Most of them had a straight up alibi for their father. Like he's the other one who says he's a taxi driver in New York. That's the only other one that really is in the running. This sequence, this is not the best screenshot, but like there's one where he's looking straight forward. I should have grabbed it, where it's very reminiscent of Predator. Oh. It's because they're looking through the trees and stuff.
Yeah. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, you don't think there's a lot of subtle things. It might not have even been on purpose, but because it's Arnold staring through trees, that's the first thing I think of. So this is where we do find out. Like obviously, they don't wait very long to prove what we know, and she finally gives up the ghost on this whole thing, and she says, no, he doesn't live in France. I didn't know who my husband was when he was, and it's an admission that yes, this is them, but they can't locate the money, which is really the thing that's holding this whole thing up. Because, what is it, Crisp? I think this kind of gets swept under the rug with this movie a lot. There was no money. He made that up to make her out to be, that way she couldn't come forward, because now she would be arrested for theft and
or
extortion
that
and all
also
these
that
things.
people would go after her.
Yeah.
For the money.
Yeah. So it was a clever thing on Crisp to like essentially deflect onto her. Let me see what the comments. Dildo Shaggins, one of my favorite YouTube usernames. There, something for Hardcut. Stop making me think of the modern version of this movie.
That would be, let's just not even.
He's mellowing, not going soft. Yeah, Arnold doesn't go soft until Arnold decides he's going to go soft. There's something in those trees, Major. Thank you, Dildo.
Sorry, Dildo, but like I can't. It's hard to watch these movies and not think about like, oh shit, if they made this today, can you imagine what the bullshit that we'd be watching right now? Got to do it, man.
Yeah, basically. So now he's really embraced the teacher aspect. He's almost at this point in the movie, you almost feel like he's flipped. He's almost barely doing the police work anymore.
Yeah.
It's up front. It was all police work. Yeah, who is your daddy and what does he do? Who was born in Astoria, who was born in California, like all that shit. And now here it's like he's legitimately concerned that this pageant is not going to go correctly. This is only 3 days in by yeah, I love this kid. Did Lincoln really have 4 fathers? Yeah, do you have 4 mothers too? But yeah, so now so this is the scene, Matt, that you wanted to talk about. So Zach gets dropped off by his mother, who was like, "Oh, the car wouldn't start," which is obviously bullshit. And he notices the bruising on him, and goes out to say like, actually, you want to take over, Matt? Because
I mean, first of all, this woman is I fell down some stairs personified, and like this scene is great, and this was always a crowd pleaser back in the day when people saw this, but again, when I'm watching this movie and like he does this, I'm immediately thinking, oh, he lost his job, like it's done.
Yeah, what
like
would happen today?
I know he's a cop or whatever, but like the cover would have been blown, like this whole thing would have been ruined after this one scene, and that's because of just how things are today, back in the day. Yeah, I think it was probably a bit of an ask the audience to like kind of go with you on this scene, because it probably would have blown his cover, but it didn't matter. Like a child beater or someone who
anybody who targets children,
yes, like
this kind
exactly
of
fuck that. And so
there's a reason why they don't last in prison. You go to prison and they find out you're a child molester or a child,
like
anything.
Arnold is 100%.
They fucking kill you.
He's 100% justified in this scene, and but nowadays there's just so much like red tape, and like I can see his character like getting in trouble, the school board, fucking suing his ass, and like just again thinking about all the modern implications that come with this scene. It just makes it depressing, because back in the day we can all collectively be like, yeah, this isn't good what this guy's doing, and it's probably awesome that this teacher like beat the shit out of him.
While we're thinking about that, why don't we just watch him beat the shit out of him?
He didn't. Also, he didn't throw the first punch.
That's true. That's true.
So,
like technically it was self-defense, and they do a good job at setting that up. Yeah.
Let's watch him get the shit kicked out of him, shall we?
Oh.
You must be the Mr. Kimble we hear so much about.
You hit the kid, I hit you.
You bastard.
Oh, you're not worth it. I'm pressing charges against you.
He doesn't actually hit him a lot. I think he only hits him like
just hit him in the stomach.
He hits him in the stomach. Well, I had to cut a little bit of it there.
Oh, okay.
He does hit him. He does hit him again, a little bit, but not by much. It's like I think he hits him like 3 times total. And then he notices all the kids are standing outside. I think let's see, yeah, and the the principal and even some of the mothers are kind of like, well, I'm guessing
walking down the street with their babies.
Yeah, I guess
strollers.
they're leaving. because this is the beginning of the school day.
I think they were
So
just walking their kids. They look like mothers
Yeah.
who had kids that I thought they were in
Mhm.
strollers or something.
Yeah, there's a couple moms with strollers
Yeah.
in that, and yeah.
And this is kind of what you were talking about, Matt. You mentioned like, you know, you would think that in nowadays they'd be like, you can't do that. We have to use our words. But
Exactly.
I love this about her. She's just like, what did it feel like to hit that son
And
of a
she's like-
bitch?
I never forgot that scene. You have a super chat, by the way.
Oh, I do. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for keeping an eye out. Flummox Buffoon again. And Josh Brolin from Weapons comes in with a steel chair for the last blow. Oh my god! My god! My god! He hit him. He's dead. Oh man, I should do like a wrestling movie one day. Just do the whole thing as JR. Stone Cold. But I think one time I did my Vince McMahon impression. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. It was like, I love doing that impression. It hurts though. If you do that for too long,
my
really
throat
hurts
was
your
like,
throat.
like kind of tensing as you were doing that. So
Yeah. But yeah, so this whole thing it kind of shows that they knew that this was going on. Like, she's calling him a son of a bitch. Like, she's aware, but nobody did anything about it. It wasn't until there was somebody who was physically imposing enough to do something. I mean, it's mostly, like you said, single mothers in this town, and the fathers we've been told are mostly deadbeats
Yeah.
or useless. There's a couple that have good careers, but they're career men who, you know, the gynecologist probably not home that often. You know, doctors keep weird hours and shit sometimes. And,
well, this movie is definitely also a reflection of how the boomers divorced. You know, like just showing how back then, like that's what was going on. This is like the beginning of when, you know, parents started divorcing and shit. And
yeah, it was the divorce rates were shooting through the roof at this point. And I just want to say thank you to Flummox Buffoon again before I forget. Thank you again for that super chat. If you want, I'll do like wrestling impressions as best I can going forward. If it's somebody I know how to do, at least. But yeah, no, it was definitely, you know, the late 80s, early 90s was really the explosion of divorce, because it became very, first of all, I mean, women's careers were going a lot. A lot of places at that point. They were getting into sectors that they hadn't before. You know, obviously there was pockets of time where that happened in World War II and stuff,
Yeah.
but really the late 80s, early 90s was when they started making a lot of these strides. And yeah, I remember like almost like so many people when my parents didn't divorce. You know, I was, you know, my father eventually passed away. He was a huge Arnold fan, by the way. And but you know, I knew so many kids when I was in elementary school who had, you know, the latchkey kids who, you know, their mother would work and they'd have to go home and stay, like shit that's illegal nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's crazy to think that that's just how that was like the standard in like 1992, 1993. It was just, but it felt great. I forgot that there was another one there. So this scene was the one I was mentioning earlier that I thought was significantly earlier in the film. I thought she OD'd like about halfway through. We're much further. We're almost at like, we're about the 2/3 mark of the movie at this point. And yeah, so Crisp's mother essentially makes sure that she gets a bad dose of, I'm guessing, heroin. That's probably what she was using. Let's be honest here. And it's probably laced with something that killed her. And they say it's an OD, but it's probably not just an OD. It's probably like literally there was like cyanide or some shit.
Yeah, sure.
And so now their case is completely gone. They have to let Crisp walk, which is right here. And it's good to see that the lawyer also shops at the exact same place as Crisp, by the way. It's like, but yeah, I mean, he would probably have walked anyway with just her as a witness, like we said. Like the fact that they were even able to hold him this long is actually kind of impressive. I mean, I know it's murder one, but they had the most unreliable witness possible. Like, almost had to be coerced into testimony.
I like how the lawyer kind of takes credit for getting him out, sort of. He's like, "Oh, sorry it took so long." And it's like, dude, like you didn't do shit. Like he's out because she OD'd. That's the only
Yeah.
reason. So yeah, that lawyer kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm. And I was actually thinking about this earlier when I was watching it. Like, does anybody remember these kind of when this stuff was affordable
Yep.
for a family to go to?
Yep.
Nowadays, you go to a local like fair or something, and you're dropping more money than you would at like an amusement park. It's like everything costs $20, $30. It's like food truck where you have to spend $16 for just one burger. It's like
Right. I mean, but again, like I can't. When you watch this movie, this scene in particular, if you want to know what it was like growing up back then, this is like literally exactly what it was like. The movie does a great job at capturing that time, like being a kid.
RRTNZ with coming in with the $10 New Zealand. Having worked in education, this film is 100% realistic about what school is usually like, minus the gunfights. Oh, wait,
Accurate.
It's the USA. Hey, we're just really good at that part, okay? That's like, our schools have to be the best at something. Ivan Reitman, comedy genius. He really was. I mean,
he was.
Like, thank you, RRTNZ. And I'm glad that you're here because, like I said earlier, I'm going to try to make these a monthly occurrence. We will be starting a bi-weekly show that's more of a topical one. And there's going to be more coming out of the channel in the near future. My schedule has opened up a little bit in a way that I can do these sort of things. But back to what I was saying here. Like, yeah, these fairs, I remember when you were, like, they would be all inclusive. You'd give like a donation of like, for your family, $30-$40 or whatever, which was a lot back then, but it's still less than what you get, Here they have ponies and rides and it's all I'm guessing it's all included here. I could be wrong.
That's safe to assume.
Yeah. But now Crisp has made it into the town and he sees this, it's like a slot car kind of track, which is fairly basic one, but I guess in this town, this is probably a big deal. And he wants to buy it, but this guy right here in the gas station uniform is buying it for his son. It's the floor model too, so like he's gonna get it at a discount. Crisp offers him 4 times the amount, and he turns it down. So he turns it down, and that does not make Crisp a happy person. We've seen already that he doesn't take kindly to when people don't do what he says. But I have to ask you this. You're in this situation. What are you doing? I'm taking that money. I'm just driving like a couple towns over and getting the same thing at standard cost and pocketing the difference. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would take the money. Heck yes.
Yeah, there's really no I mean, especially when he offers 4 times the price. I mean,
Yeah.
get out of here. This dude would have definitely taken that. So, and like also, I mean, maybe this is ageism, but this guy like just seems too old.
Little
to have,
old to have a young kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is 1990, so it was filmed in 1989. That guy is probably 27 years old.
Probably, yeah. That's probably
Well, it
accurate.
reminds me of that mother in Jaws whose kid got eaten.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
looks so much older than.
Did you
what
ever?
she should
So
have
when
been.
we did Jaws on the channel, someone told me the story. I had heard this before. That woman went to a restaurant and there was a sandwich or something named after the kid.
And that kid
then
operates
the kid,
the restaurant.
the kid who played
Yep.
the guy who played that kid owned the restaurant, and they met for the first time in 20 something years.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
I forget the name off the top of my head of the kid, but yeah. So obviously now with the witness ODing, they have to put pressure on Joyce here. And so they have to come forward with the fact that they're police officers. They're not actually teachers. And she doesn't really take that kindly. She rushes off because she feels lied to. And my Discord just came back randomly.
Well, hang on. We're missing kind of a to me like was a good scene where they acknowledge Mr. Kimble and like his work at the school and like the principal says that he's a really good asset to them, and like you can tell that like the camera pushes in on him and stuff, and he's like this experience has sort of changed him. And then you know what, this scene kind of gave me an idea. right? If you were going to do like a legacy sequel to Kindergarten Cop, like what if at the end of this movie he like decides to like not be a cop anymore and he decided to like become a kindergarten teacher, moved to this town, and like that's what he did for the rest of his life. You can like have a movie where we kind of checked back in on Mr. Kimble and like he's now old. You can have old Schwarzenegger and like he's retiring, and then like all the kids from his first class come back to see him. I don't know, obviously if it was a legacy sequel, it'd still be Kindergarten Cop. I don't know how the cop aspect would kind of play into that, but I was just kind of thinking
officer teacher.
Yeah, like that could be kind of a cool way of like, getting back into the Kindergarten Cop universe,
Well, they did do a sequel, but it was garbage.
Is that the Dolph Lundgren shit?
Yeah, it was straight up trash. And Dolph Lundgren did that a lot, where he had these either direct-to-video movies, DVD movies, or things that probably should have been.
That was his bread and butter.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, he wasn't... Dolph Lundgren was the blonde Arnold. That's the best way I could put it. The muscle-bound dude with an accent who, it's...
Yeah, he could barely talk, but he was awesome.
Yeah. He's also super. Dolph Lundgren is like the perfect human being. Like he's
amazingly
a badass.
Smart.
Yeah,
he's a chemical engineer.
Yeah, like looks like he was like 6 foot something, like 6 foot. I don't know. It's hard to tell because when he stands next to Stallone, it's difficult because Stallone's only like 5'9",
right,
5'10", but like 6'4", 5 with like perfect blonde hair. He was just like everybody should have strived to be. Dolph Lundgren.
He was like when they draw comic book characters, like he was that, in real life. So especially in Rocky IV.
Yeah. So we obviously they escape they flee, I should say, in this nice very 90s tracker here. This is like I think everybody's family owned one of these. I think they came standard when you got your license back in the day. When we check back in on Crisp, who, I mean, this guy, like, he's still trying to buy it off him. He offers him the $200, which means that the thing was $50. So, yeah, he could have easily just driven over to another town. I know that it's Oregon, so they're not, like, super close together. But, for essentially what would the equivalency be of that? I don't know. Somebody in the chat, I have too many windows open. If somebody could tell me what $200 in 1990 would be in 2025 money, please. But like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I would have just easily,
well, this was just obviously their attempt to show you yet again what a terrible person he is. But I mean, we already knew that.
Yeah. And also there's been like an absence of physical action at this point in the film. So you got to like show, we're still kind of in an action movie, ladies and gentlemen. This little reminder,
yeah,
this guy's a piece of shit and he's going to get his comeuppance pretty soon.
So the flow of the movie is weird. So a lot of times
it has a weird structure.
Yeah, a lot of times action movies do that initial action sequence, and then they drop, and then they do the physical build up the whole time, right? Up into the crescendo, the climax of the movie. This has an early climax with the him getting arrested. Bottoms out into in terms of action, bottoms out into nothing for almost an hour. There's not a single action sequence, like you said, and then it ramps up really fast. It's like in 10 minutes it goes from nothing to something.
Yeah,
and it is a very strange. Let's see.
Well, there's the saying that
basically $500 is what he offered this guy.
Oh
yeah,
wow,
I'm
okay.
taking that.
Silly man.
Yeah, which means that the $50. So you do some quick math there. The thing he bought was probably about $115. Like, so yeah, you would have pocketed close to $400 to just go to drive maybe an hour. I would have did that shit to go to another town to find this thing. Sorry, my kid. I'll just get it for you the next day. It's
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like we were saying, I'm sorry, I cut you off, Matt.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that. Basically, when you're watching a movie, the concept of the movie is Act 2. Like,
yeah,
that is what the movie is, Act 2.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how yeah, like during Act 2, when it's the kindergarten cop shit, like, yeah, there's like nothing else going on. That is the movie.
That's probably
And then
why you forgot there was all that actiony stuff at the beginning, Dark Hour.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
Yeah.
point. That's a really
it's
good point.
almost so like it's almost like this movie has a strange. It's two act films that are kind of you take the two action acts, the first one and the second one, you put them on the outside, and then you have a full movie in between. Almost, it's
Mhm.
you know, the fish out of water
Yeah.
aspect of the first act, and then like the set, or I guess that would be the second act, and the third act is almost like I've accepted, I like this lifestyle. So it's almost like a 4-act film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so the mother is I forget her name. They say it once, but just Mrs. Crisp. She's buying a bunch of children's medicines, and Crisp is not particularly happy about this because he's like, "Oh yeah, you used to do this to me."
Yeah, you get a sense of their dynamic here for
yeah.
sure, even more.
Which is so I know that he's technically talking to the pharmacist when he turns and he's like, "How can you
How do you
argue
argue with
with that?"
I
that?
can argue with
Yeah,
that.
like
That's a great line.
I just don't like that they did it in like a fourth wall break. It just feels so weird the way they did it, like, because it stands out from everything else that's happened in the movie in a very strange way. I wish that they would have at least shown like the guy's shoulder or something just to show, but yeah. Antihistamine, decongest. I mean, this is literally, I don't know if if either of you two were like this, but I was a kid with a lot of allergies. This just sounds like shit that I was taking my whole life. So Kimble ends up getting back to the house, and Dominic's missing, which is another thing that they set up pretty well, you know.
Back in the trees.
Yep, yeah. Now I don't know how the hell he would have even got here. You can't just go to these things. There's fences, like high fences
Yeah,
around.
but back then though, in Oregon, like maybe they were kind of lax
Maybe
on
not as much. Yeah.
Maybe he's really good at jumping fences. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe there were fences, but no barbed wire yet.
Yeah, no barbed wire. It was a fence with just a standard, like, standard lock. He just went. He just walked in. But yeah, I'm doing it again. But yeah, he does. I don't have the scene. I tried this one. I couldn't get. It just I had it clipped, and then when I tested it, it just wasn't. Yeah, I couldn't get it down to make it make sense. So I'll just explain it. But he's going up there to put up one of his lasers. And he falls. He gets hooked on something. It's like some sort of transformer, or a light or something. It's hard to tell exactly what he gets hooked on. And Arnold climbs up there and saves him, and that basically wins over Joyce. Like, she now feels that he's not he has their best interest in mind. The first of two kisses. That's a great stop. But now this is one thing that I don't understand, and this is kind of a part of the movie that I need to get your guys' like opinion on. Why the hell do they go back to the school the next day?
Well, so
is there a line I've missed my whole life?
No, but this is something that I did write down, and that pertains to the next day. The principal knows he's an undercover cop. Why was she not alerted to the fact that this guy might show up looking for his son? That was to me, that's a huge plot hole.
So that they
especially
kind of
if they know
account
this
for.
guy's coming.
They kind of account for that earlier in the movie because she's not. It's on a very strictly need to know basis, and they mention that when
at this point, it seems like a need to know.
Oh,
yeah,
he's on the way, and then so when it showed her talking with him in the principal's office, that was like for the first time since I've seen it, and I've seen it many times. For the first time, I seriously started to question why they didn't have some sort of something in place to try to prevent anything like that from happening. Hey, look, this strange guy, be wary of anybody who comes, let me talk to him, something. But
I think in this case, Rebel Rose, who commented, is right. Plot has to plot.
I just wanted to highlight RT and Zed, who gave us the biography of Dolph Lundgren, by the way. 6'4", 225, masters in chemical engineering, European Kyokushin karate champion, which is the no joke karate, might I add. I know a lot of people think of karate, they think of McDojos and strip malls. No, Kyokushin is like beat the piss out of each other, put in a mouth guard and punch each other till you fall over kind of stuff. Won the Fulbright scholarship to MIT, but instead became Grace Jones' bodyguard and booty call.
Hey, that's how he got noticed, though.
Mhm.
So
That's true.
But yeah, I just feel like at this point there's no reason in the movie for them to return to school. Like there's no reason for this. They have what the person they need. Even if they want, they should be on their way back to LA. There should be witness protection involved. Like this is the plot hole to me, is there's no reason to return to the school. Whether or not they think Crisp is there is irrelevant. There's no reason for this to happen. Other than plot's got a plot, like we said.
Yeah, I mean, they the way they could have fixed that, even though yes, it's true, there's no reason for them to go back to the school. They could have fixed that by setting up, okay, Kimble and what's her face? Is it Phoebe? Is her name Phoebe?
Yeah, Phoebe. Yeah.
They want to
Phoebe O'Hara.
They want to set up a trap to capture him.
Yeah, they could have did something like that,
Yeah.
or like we can't just leave. Like it could have just been one line of like, we can't just leave. I need to go in. We need to settle the things about the case with the principal. But then that screws up the scene where he's interviewing with the principal for the. So
Right.
it's if there's one aspect of this movie, they needed to put something in there.
yeah.
That's the one hole that I've never been able to get over. I just don't. To me, I just, it bothers me that they didn't.
You're
I
right.
mean, they do bring in her, who's also another cop, to teach the kids like stranger danger,
yeah.
and all this stuff. But it just seems like you're putting you're putting Dominic and Joyce in harm's way for no reason.
Well, and because Dominic and Joyce are at the school, now you're potentially putting everyone else in danger
Exactly.
as well. So
Yeah. I recently ordered the like the UHD Blu-ray something.
that's what I
and
watched. That's what
it's-
I watched.
Oh, so what I was going to say is they have got some audio commentaries on there. That's why I ordered it, and I'm curious.
I
haven't
love audio
listened to it yet.
commentaries.
I
Yep.
do too. But when it comes in, I'm curious whenever I rewatch it if they do address that in the commentary.
I haven't checked it yet, but I will say the UHD
never
looks
watched
really
the-
good.
I've never watched the commentary for this one. I really should. So a lot of times when I'm, it's certain movies, you'll see I'll come in and I'll have like I'll come in hot with a bunch of like fun facts. More often than not, I find those out on commentary.
From the commentaries, they're
Yeah.
so much fun.
And this one, I've never watched the commentary. I'm gonna have to go back and do that now. I used to specifically, like, obviously you can't do it the first time you watch a movie. If you buy a DVD and you're not too familiar with it, maybe you haven't seen it in a long time, watch the movie one time without it.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
if it
sure.
has commentary, sometimes they have multiple commentary tracks. Sometimes there's one from just the director. There's one from a couple of the actors. Watch them all. They're
Actor
fine.
commentaries suck.
It depends.
This
It
is an
depends.
actor commentary. Oh, what day did we film that? Do you remember?
I challenge
They're
you.
not all like that.
Okay.
They're
Sometimes you
fucking
get
terrible.
some
Matt,
pretty
I
cool
challenge
behind
you.
the scenes stuff.
I challenge you to go watch the Boogie Nights commentary.
I have watched that where he's getting high with PTA. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg actually goes like, I love the story where he's like, oh, this is when me and we weren't talking, so you see we're just looking away from each other.
No, I'm talking about when there's a commentary with just actors.
Oh
There's
no,
n-
there has to be somebody
like-
from the production staff.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's fine, even though it's a little annoying. But when it's just the actors, fuck that. Like the actors don't know shit. They show up, they sit in their trailer, they're called to come out, do their lines, they go back to their trailer. They're not part of the filmmaking process. They don't care. So they're not going to give you any of that insight, that juice that you want when you listen to them. But if you do listen to a good commentary, it legitimately is like a film school, you know. But nowadays, well, this is a separate topic, but audio commentaries suck now. But back in the day,
they're very PC now. They don't
they are, and like actually a big part of why they suck, or the origins in which when they started to suck, is rumored to be because of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yes,
know that.
he did the commentary with Paul Verhoeven on Total Recall, right? Which is a very great commentary because you like this, and then Paul Verhoeven's like this, and you can't fucking understand what they're saying. But anyways, and Arnold basically just narrates the movie. You know, like, dude, I'm watching, I get it, what's going on. But anyways, I heard, I don't know if this is true. This is like all just rumor and speculation. But after that, or to do that commentary, Arnold was like, I can get paid doing this, and like demanded money doing it. And then after that, other people started demanding that they get paid for doing a commentary. So then as time went on, it just became more and more rare because people wanted to be paid for it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but it's what
I guess
They did
that would
kinda
also come down to the
disappear, so I
person
wondered.
anyway.
Yeah.
That would also come down to the person and their effort level anyway. I mean, probably the all-time greatest DVD commentary is Tropic Thunder. Because
That's up
have you
there.
ever watched? No, I'm saying there's
I've watched
nothing
it.
tops that. It's because he does it in character.
Well,
'Cause
okay,
the-
but yes, and that's cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. There's a few commentaries where the actors do it in character, and I struggle to remember what the other ones are right now. But if you want to watch the best, in my opinion, it's the Armageddon Criterion DVD.
Someone mentioned that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like
They
that.
mentioned the Ben
That
Affleck.
it's like it's not even just Ben Affleck. It's also Michael Bay just totally being Michael Bay. Like it's back when they were like you legitimately saw a window into how these people actually are. Whereas nowadays everything is so like, yeah, this person's so great to work with. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
Like I said, you need a specific kind of person that's willing to just like talk smack about.
Yeah,
their
but
own, like...
but that's they don't even allow that anymore. Like that's why like Oliver Stone doesn't do commentaries anymore because he was just so candid when he did do them, and like it like lifted the veil of the industry, and I think that they don't like that. And so a combination of just how sanitized things are, and perhaps the Schwarzenegger situation is why commentaries suck ass now.
Iceman, yes. The thing I love about it is it's the Tropic Thunder DVD commentary was in and of itself a joke that they set up in the movie. That's why I love it. It's
yes, it's good. And it is a good commentary. It's up there.
But back to this movie.
Yes.
There was a slide there. Crisp has shown up. He's evaluating the school for his son, and he really pumps his son up, this fictitious son up that I guess he does really have a son, but he pumps the one up that he's bringing here. Oh yeah, he's 6 years old and he can read and write on like a college level, and also he cured like diabetes. Like he's just like, but it's all just a guise so he can get to the library and set it on fire. Which they show that there's a sprinkler system. So the fire spreads like incredibly fast in this scene. It's almost like the whole rest of the movie where you feel like we said it's like a week where he's doing this, but it feels like a month. It's like this fire spreads as quickly as you would think it would over like about an hour in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The sprinkler system would help. It wouldn't put it out, but it would at least slow it down. And it's obviously a guise just to get them to start the process of the fire drill, which has already been set up earlier in the movie. And especially the fact that part of their process is that he gives whoever's been doing the best in the class the responsibility of getting the ferret.
Yeah,
which has consistently been Dominic. And there's like 2 or 3 kids that have consistently been doing this throughout the movie. Which will, that was actually very subtle setup. They don't even mention it. It's just something that you see happen. That he's using the fire as a way to trap Dominic, who he has now, and Joyce somehow just happens to run into them. This is the most weird. Like she just happens to go through this door. This is very movie of them.
100%.
Though I can say this, I'll tell a little story. It's Dark Hour story time. When I was, in middle school, that was when 9/11 happened, and I used to back then you couldn't carry inhalers on you in schools. Like they used to make you lock them up in, at least not in New Jersey. They used to make you lock them up in the nurse's office. So I went to go use mine for gym class, and I was standing here, nurse's office here. I look out the door to my right, and I shit you not, like the fucking scene from Twilight Zone when he opens the window on the wing of the plane. My mother's face in the window of the door, staring at me. I was like, where the fuck did you come from? like I mean, she was like looking in the door, and I'm just like, and I open it because it's obviously my mother. She had come a lot of kids because I'm New Jersey, you know, where I'm very close to New York. A lot of parents were picking up kids, and it just happened like that. Timing was just so weird.
Wow. Yeah.
It was almost like this.
This is your kindergarten cop moment in real life.
Yeah, it was my kindergarten cop moment. Yeah. But yeah, so I love his line that he has here. How do you get out of this place? Because it's like a maze to him. He's never actually been in there before.
It's like IKEA back then.
Well, schools can be, especially old ones that have like an older building, can be confusing because a lot of times, like my high school eventually blew up to the point of, you know, it was built for 500, 600, 700 kids, and then eventually there was like 2,000 kids in there. So and probably even more now. So they had to make additions on the building, and then they brought in, you know, trailers they put all around the perimeter. It can get confusing for someone who's never been in there, you know.
See, when I was a kid, I lived in I'm from California, so I would watch movies and I would see movie versions of school, which were like in buildings and shit. Like all of my schools were like you know, obviously they were in structures, but like it was all outdoor layout, you know. The concept of it being in a building like this was just like, that's a movie school, you know.
Yeah, my school kind of looked a little bit like this, and it, like I said, it had, you know, there was ways that if you didn't know which hallway to take, you could end up in the wrong side of the building,
right?
You know, because you just because they had the second floor that ran it ran perpendicular to the other hallways, so if you went the wrong way, yeah.
My school, look, if you watch Halloween 1 in the very beginning when they're bullying Tommy Doyle, that's what my schools look like. That's exactly
like single level.
Yep, that legitimately is what my elementary school looked like.
But yeah, so they end up in the locker room, equipment room, and
that was the bathroom or the shower.
Well, it's like the shower, bathroom, locker room. Oops, going back. Yeah, it's like, and Kimble catches up to them, and this is where Crisp kind of falls apart as like a character almost, because he threatens to kill Dominic. First of all, I know you're not supposed to shoot at a hostage, like in a hostage situation at a person, but
there's a big gap.
There's a really good chance you're not going to hit.
He can hit the guy. Exactly.
And there's the ferret, which happens so quickly, might I add. It's almost
he never bites, miss it. Apparently, and he does
only bites bad people. Only bites bad people. And then I don't have the clip of it, but he shoots Crisp in the leg, and then Crisp shoots him. And then I love this because the grandmother shows up. She had I just realized I don't have any. I can only fit 100 slides on this, so I had to cut a few of them. She has the gun from Phoebe because she hit her with the car.
Yep. And she saw her running around the side of the building with the gun.
Yeah. And for future ones, I'm going to figure out how to do it with more than 100 slides. This stream was a nightmare to put together.
Oh.
Sorry, man.
I mean, it is what it is. One thing I was thinking about during this sequence, though, so she shoots Kimble. He crawls into the shower. She shoots the wall. And the next line, I wish that I had the clip of it, because she goes, "Where's my grandson?" And he says something. And then she shoots the wall. He's like, "Where's my grandson?" He says, "Go to hell." And I'm like, no, his next line would have been, "What?" Because they're in a literal echo chamber right now.
Yeah.
And a gun was just fired. Like, to be both.
Oh, yeah. Yep. No ear protection there.
Yeah, and then it's not the best slide, but Phoebe shows up, smashes her with a baseball bat, has probably the best line in the whole movie that isn't delivered by a child.
Not so tough without your car.
Not so tough without your car.
I got a huge laugh in the theater when that came out.
Yeah, it's like Arnold has great lines too, but that's also a great line.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I always wondered what happened with the ferret. Like, who took the ferret home? How did they take care of the ferret?
I don't know. Dominic has it, but they don't show the ferret anymore after this, I don't think.
No, because he's in the hospital. and they. One of the weirdest things in this scene, in my opinion, is when she kisses him
On the mouth. Yep.
on the mouth,
Yep.
and it's like really strange to me.
Yeah, me
Because
too. Me too. It's not like we're in Europe where sometimes
Yeah.
in different countries that's just kind of a form of greeting, but yeah, it's a little strange, especially since she's engaged to somebody else.
Yeah, but it's not
a guy who walks in right after.
Right?
It's not strange in the sense where it's like, oh, did he ask for consent? It's not like
No.
that. It's
Oh,
just
no,
like,
no,
yeah, yeah.
No, it's strange in the sense that, like, first of all, I understand they've been through a lot together in this week and a half.
But a lip lock?
But lip lock after a week and a half.
I
when
would have
you're
been like, kiss on the cheek or on the forehead or something. But yeah, that was a little.
I do share the opinion of Jell-O with Arnold, by the way. I hate Jell-O.
It depends on the flavor.
I know I can't. So when I had my wisdom teeth removed when I was younger, I got the infection that you get, like the dry socket infection, and I had to eat nothing but Jell-O for like 3 weeks straight.
Oh my gosh!
And it since then I can't stand Jell-O.
Well, is it the way it tastes, or is it like, are you one of those texture people?
It's a little bit of both. It's mostly the texture of that one. I'm usually not like that either. I'm usually not a texture person for
I'm a taste person.
Yeah, but I guess it's just it has a negative connotation to me, so I just like no. Don't
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Also in this scene, I love when Henry Shoup comes in and just continues knocking shit over, grabs the.
They'd invited him to the wedding, and then that all happens, and he was like, "Is it safe?
Is it
to go to the wedding?"
Yeah, like who grabs the winch or the wench of the. But yeah, so he gets out of the hospital, which apparently they kind of just gloss over the hospital scene. That's just real quick, and he's brought back in, and he's going to permanently be the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. I do love the fact that he limps in with a cane and then picks her up and twirls around. It's like, dude.
I think they kind of forgot that, or maybe that was just his adrenaline, from seeing her.
I mean, I understand she's probably not that. She's not short, so she's probably like in the 130 to 140 pound range. And he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, but
this is the equivalent to the scene in Attack of the Clones where Yoda's fucking bouncing off walls and shit, and then like he picks up his cane afterwards. So it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, same deal. Obviously, and some backstage
behind
photos,
the scenes.
but behind the scenes. But yeah, that's Kindergarten Cop, and I'm glad that I finally got to do this goddamn movie. It's been a nightmare trying to get this thing put together.
I think you did very good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while since I did one of these, so like my flow was a little off. But that means that I can move this from here. I can set this up. I can move people into the right spots. Still learning this software. But yeah, that was Kindergarten Cop, and it allows us all to have a moment to reflect on it and tell our final thoughts. And I guess I'll reverse it from last time. Last time Matt went first. So Sin, why don't you go first?
Well, Kindergarten Cop it's not ever going to be my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie of all time, but it is on up there. Like, it's ahead of some other films for me that are considered favorites by other Arnold fans, like Total Recall. I'm not super crazy about Total Recall. End of Days, stuff like it, but I just like the blend of all the different types of genres and tones that it has, and I feel like it's got something in there that can satisfy most people. So yeah, it's great. Just a lot of fun. Love it. Very heartwarming, very sweet, and funny. Those lines too.
Matt, final thoughts?
It's kind of borderline sacrilegious to say this is better than Total Recall, Sin.
I'm sorry, I'm not a huge fan.
I love Total Recall. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you though. Like, I definitely, it's just a solid movie. It's just unfortunate that movies like this, first of all, they're rarely ever made now, and if they are, it's just like Netflix trash. Yeah. This is just like bottom barrel Netflix trash concept. And, it's nice to see a movie that's like a straightforward family action comedy, but it's made by a professional like Ivan Reitman. Like you had the caliber of him doing a movie like this. On the Ivan Reitman front, I will say that one of the things that I don't like about this movie is like this is one of his collaborations with composer Randy Eidelman, and I cannot stand his music. And like this and Ghostbusters 2 have like the worst scores ever, especially when you like take in consideration the first Ghostbuster was with the score was done by Elmer Bernstein, which is like so good, so iconic, and then you get this like synthesizer trash in the second Ghostbuster, and like this movie has that same sound, that Randy Edelman sound, which I don't like. But it kind of just cheapens the movie slightly for me. But there's just no denying though that Ivan Reitman was a great, and when he died, it like we lost a great, which sucks.
There's actually a little Easter egg for Ghostbusters. Dominic's bedspread is like the pillowcase.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yes, it said trademark, like a Sony Columbia trademark on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah, I kind of feel like the same. So obviously, when it comes to Arnold, there's two. Almost every great actor has like that trifecta of films that people. Arnold kind of has two. There's the people who say it's Conan, Predator, Terminator, or Commando, Predator, Terminator. It really depends on which person you ask. But so he kind of has like a four. It's like instead of a trifecta, it's like a quadrilateral or some shit. But there's always those ones that are their A tier films, and this is probably in the next tier down. I would put it. This is a really good blend of comedy and action. It showcases Arnold's range better. The fact that most of this movie is him playing off of children, which is incredibly hard to do, might I add. It usually takes a really good actor to be able to do that. And, it's probably came down a little bit to the direction, having a good director can help that. But still, even with that, it's incredibly hard to have good chemistry with one child on set. Nevertheless, 30, it's
a lot.
So, and I don't think it gets the due that there's like some people like see it and they think it's a silly movie. It's like, but then you think about it like that. You think about all the little things that had to go into it for it to even work. And the fact that we only found maybe 2 flaws in the whole thing, is, and like, obviously nitpicks, like maybe like they'd be deaf in this scene. That's not a flaw, but like, the one plot detail where we're like, this doesn't make sense. I think it's firmly in that, like, if you want to call those top ones the A tier, it's firmly in that B tier of
agree.
But yeah. I don't have the graphic today, by the way. Oh, so go on.
I was going to say, I like kind of just going back to what I was saying earlier. I think that this movie does showcase Schwarzenegger's his performance capabilities more than other movies perhaps may have at the time. So yeah, it's easy to dismiss this as a dumb comedy, but he's really good in the movie. I'm not saying that he's a great actor or anything, but like it's one of his better performances. You can tell that Arnold like gave a shit when he was doing this movie, and it comes through.
Melvin's top 3 are Terminator, Predator, and True Lies. True Lies is almost on, in my opinion, that's probably also on that A tier.
Yeah, for me it is. It's his top.
That's my favorite performance of his. Like he's like the action's great in that movie, but he's funny as hell in that movie. And his timing is really good in the movie. So yeah,
that had a great cast too. I mean, Bill Paxton's character.
He's the best. Like, he's the best. And then Tom Arnold's funny as shit in that movie. That movie's solid. So
yeah. So I don't have the graphic this time, so you're just gonna have to imagine the plug your shit graphic that I normally use. So it's time to plug your shit, like whatever. Which is where you tell us what you got coming up and where we could find you and all that jazz. And I guess we'll start with Matt.
So channel's Hard Cut. Today we just released we reviewed Prey. I know it's like 2 or 3 years too late,
Yeah.
but we just in anticipation to Badlands coming out, we decided to kind of go back and do a retro review. So we just released that today. So go check that out. But yeah, our channel's Hardcut.
Yes,
And as Dark Hour said earlier, we're going to be doing some collaborations in the very near future. So stay tuned.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually
Exciting.
so what not only are we going to be starting a show on this channel, I'm going to be appearing on more of their reviews going forward as kind of like a collaborative exchange. I was in their episode 7.
Episode 7 Alien Earth review.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and so I want to do it again. And Sin, what do you got coming up?
So obviously I'm Sin from Sin's Corner. I mostly do just pre-recorded movie reviews, but sometimes I do live streams with other people and just stream to my channel. But what I've got in the immediate is I'm going to be going to see a press screening of Frankenstein on Wednesday, so hopefully get my review out on Thursday or Friday. We'll see.
Nice.
And just other movies. I'm going to be a Black Phone 2, so I'm going to
African American Phone. Come on. Look at the bigotry.
Yeah, so it's basically just whatever movies are coming out that I'm interested in, I watch them and do reviews. So yeah.
As for me, I'm currently it's pretty much all scripted. I now have to start the arduous task of recording all of it for Tron Ares, which I know a lot of the other people have been saying this is like the worst movie of the year, and whereas I agree it's not a good film, I'm not seeing worst movie of the year out of this thing.
Dark Hour, I'm actually with you on that one. Like I just saw it last night. I didn't like it. It's not good, but it's not the train wreck that. Yeah.
No, and I really would even in my writing, I posed the question like, what were you expecting out of a Tron movie? None of them are good. Like they're all very loose plots with nice visuals and cool soundtracks. That's literally what they're basically music videos. So I had to rejig the way I wanted to do the review. Originally, I was gonna, I thought going into it, I was like, I'm gonna be doing this.
Yeah, you had a plan. You were telling us about that.
This is gonna be terrible, and then I was like, no, I gotta retool everything. So it's probably gonna come out a couple days later than usual, only because I have to change the way I'm gonna do things. I was not I was not expecting the kind of backlash that it got after watching it, and I almost want to question it. I want to question what the motive of that backlash is at this point. Other than that, like we said, we're going to start this show. It's going to be on Tuesdays. We're working out the exact logistics of the time, and it's going to be every other week. We're not going to do weekly, only because I don't want to do a weekly show. That's just too much. The other week is perfectly fine. And then these would be like a monthly special of like a film one. Maybe occasionally I might put it in the late night slot if it's like a slow month or something. But yeah. That just leaves me to thank my guests, the chat, for all the super chats, and for everybody else who was here. I know that there was some technical difficulty early on. It wasn't showing up on my channel. I fixed that about 5 minutes in, or 10 minutes in. So if you're watching it after the fact, I'm sorry you didn't get your notification. This was the first time I was ever using EVMux, so I must have screwed up when I set it up. But yeah, let's see how the outro works because I haven't used it on this yet. So
fingers crossed.
Catch everybody later.